Welcome to the Transformational Soul Show with your host, Ruth Soltman. Are you ready to experience more stability in your life? You can change your life and be who you are meant to be, your authentic self.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Transformational Soul. My name is Ruth Soltman, and I want to let you know that right now we are streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, Twitter, and now BitChute as well. Thank you so much if you are joining me live. If you are here, I would love, to chat with you. Please say hello. Let me know you're here. I want to thank you all if you are watching the replay as well. The energy in the replay is just as strong and powerful. So don't think that you're missing out on anything, because you're not. But I love being able to interact with all of you when you are on the live broadcast. So thank you for being here. And please hit the like or the thumbs up button. Please share the show information. I greatly, greatly appreciate that. And I invite you all to go and check out my website, ruthsoltman.com. It's RUTH, S as in Sam, OL, T as in Tom, M as in Mary, N as in Nancy.com. And you can go to my website and you can find out all about my books, my oracle cards, and my services. There are links to the books where you can order directly from Amazon if you wish, or you can order through me and I can sign or dedicate a copy for you. So Goldylocks Productions has an amazing group on Telegram. If you haven't joined us over there, please do. There's so much wonderful information that is shared. And, sometimes you can't share everything on, certain or different platforms on social media. So you're going to find information over there in our group that you might not see anywhere else. So come on over there and get educated. It's a lot of fun, and we interact daily. Goldylocks Productions also has an online merchandise store where you can purchase some awesome merchandise. Come over and check out all of the designs. And today is the last day to get 20% off of everything on the site. So take advantage of that sale, because that's a great deal. And also, don't forget about the Goldylocks Productions Oracle Cards Energize. You can get messages from, the show hosts on a daily basis. You order the deck. You can pick a card every day. You can pick a card every hour if you want. And there's different messages on there from each of the different show hosts, as well as some beautiful sacred geometry symbols that Tiffany got together and organized and designed the cards, and they're absolutely gorgeous. So check those out. If you would like to give a tip or a donation, it is not mandatory or required, but if you would like to do that, you can do that via my Venmo, a Rumble Rant on Rumble. Please note, Super Chat and Super Stickers are no longer available on YouTube. Your tips and donations are very much appreciated, and they do help to cover the cost of my show every month. So I thank you so much, those of you that do. Now, if you do make a donation through Venmo during the show, then please put it in the chat, sent to Venmo or whatever, so that I can thank you and I can give you a little bit longer message. Now, please make a note of this. On September 1st, Goldylocks Productions begins its 10th season. How amazing is that? I mean, really. Also beginning September 1st, our shows will no longer be live streamed on YouTube. So if you're currently watching us via YouTube, this gives you plenty of time to check out one of our other platforms, Rumble, X, BitChute. But don't wait till the last minute. You can start watching on the other platforms right now. But as of September 1st, we will no longer be live streaming on YouTube. And let's send out some love, light, and healing energy to Robin McGuire and her son, Carol Ann Carey's daughter, Carrie, G. Brian Benson, Veronica, Kim, Maureen, Brandon, Jamie, and to all those recovering from Hurricane Beryl, and to all those who are in need. We're all in need at one time or another, but so we want to, remember everyone. Well, Hurricane Beryl made landfall on the coast of Texas late Sunday, early Monday. My area was forecast to be hit very hard. The storm shifted just slightly, and we got some wind and rain. Not, extreme severe winds, not to, it was like the rain was coming down hard, but it was a really fine rain, not like the big, heavy, hard drops. Nothing extreme for us. We kept power the entire time. We did lose internet for a couple days, but we got that back last night. Hello, Melissa on Rumble. But pretty much all of my family that lives in Texas, they all lost power. There were, I believe, over 2 million people without power. I know some of that power has been restored, not all of it. So they're still working on that. Hello, Robert and Richard. And I just can't express how grateful I am that we're all safe and well. I've seen some videos of different areas where the storm hit. I've seen the massive flooding. I'm very grateful that was not where I am. Now, I can tell you, I remember Hurricane Harvey. That was just a few months after my mom transitioned. So I was living all by myself. And in one day, we had it was either 18 or 20 inches of rain. We did not have any flooding. But Harvey was really intense because it slowed down and just lingered for like 5 days, I think it was. So we just had like that torrential rain for like 5 days. Okay, so did everyone have a good holiday and holiday weekend? Mine was pretty relaxing. The weekend reminded me the importance of pause. P-A-U-S-E. Not like animal pause, but pausing, like taking a break. I house and dog sat for my daughter, Kristen, over the holiday. And I took a lot of stuff with me to work on, but I never even took it out of my backpack. Hello, Joyce. Nice to see you. And Lenka. Hello, Lenka. So I never even took it out of my backpack. Lazy? Maybe. Unmotivated? Maybe. But mostly I was listening to my higher self that was telling me I needed a break. A break from my daily routine, a break from, concerning myself with getting things done in, my human time frame, just a break from everything. And we all need that from time to time. Isn't that one of the reasons why people take vacations, right? Because it's good to get away from the daily grind, right? From the things we do every single day so routinely. And we do them so routinely that we don't even think about doing them a lot of times. Think about when you leave the house. And you're in your car and you're driving to work or wherever you're going. And you think, oh no, did I lock the door? It's so routine that you do it without even thinking about it. And I think it kind of makes things very predictable when we do the same routine all the time. So it's really nice to take a break from that, just to relax, to chill. Taking a break, taking a pause, kind of releases our worries a little bit. It helps to clear our mind so we don't have to focus on, what we're going to do today because we don't really have a plan. It's kind of just, let's wing it and see where the day takes me. And it's good for our mental and emotional health. What about our physical health? We talk all the time about healing and healing our old issues, getting rid of the things that no longer serve us. And we also have to make sure we take care of our physical body. We can exercise and do different kinds of physical activity like yoga or walking or dancing, lifting weights, just like the little ones. It really helps to um, build muscle. It helps to build muscle. Um, and that's stuff that you can do usually in the comfort of your own home. But there's also something we can do on a daily basis to pause our body in a sense. And it's called intermittent fasting, or IF for short. I know I touched on this once a long, long time ago. But a lot of stuff has been coming up about this and reiterating itself with me. So I want to share it with you. Now, most people hear that word fasting and they immediately think, oh my gosh, I'm going to starve. You're not going to. IF is anything but that. If you want to get a handle on your eating habits, look into intermittent fasting. To put it simply, you have a designated eating or feeding, depending on what you want to call it, window. And you get to choose what that is. You don't eat anything outside of that time frame. Now you get to decide what time frame works for you and your schedule and your lifestyle. You can fast as little as 8 hours or as many as 20. Figure out what works for your body and your schedule. 8 hours may sound horrible, right? But if you think about it, how many hours do you spend sleeping each night? It's not as difficult as we might think it is. But the thing is, when you begin, you're going to notice some really amazing things happening. First of all, during the hours that you are fasting, your body is able to rest. It is paused. It is on pause. It is not constantly working to process the food that you're eating because you're not eating then. You're giving it a break. And it begins healing all that stuff in your body that's imbalanced. You can hear stories from many people. If you look that stuff up on social media, there's a lot of groups and everything. And a lot of people that claim that it healed this in their body, it healed that in their body. People have all sorts of wonderful experiences. Now, you can eat or drink whatever you want during your eating or feeding window. However, if you're going to do IF to gain a healthier body, then I would recommend eating healthier foods, right, during that time. Your relationship with food will begin to change. I recommend planning out your meals on a weekly basis. You're going to start choosing foods that will keep you satiated for longer periods of time, because you're not going to eat for this amount of time. So you've got to make sure that, your body stays to where you're not hungry. And you will see food as something to nourish and sustain your body instead of just something to ease your boredom. And we all do that, don't we? How many times we go to the pantry or the fridge and we're standing there just, looking through everything, wanting something to eat, even though we're really not hungry. It's just because we're kind of bored. And we all do that from time to time. But it will make you mindful of every bite of food that you eat. It will help you to appreciate your food more, and you're going to enjoy it more. There are different apps that you can use. You can check those out in your app store on your phone. You don't have to use one, but when you first start out, it can make it easier to keep track of your fasting and your feeding times. Now, if this resonates with you at all, I recommend reading some additional info and figure out what works for your body. Because, and we say this all the time, we're all individuals, right? We are all interconnected, yes, and we are all part of that oneness. But on a physical level, we are all individual, unique human bodies. And as such, what works for my body won't necessarily work for your body. For example, as far as eating like a healthy diet, Some people do really well on a vegetarian diet where someone else's body, it doesn't work as well. Some people like to eat just meat and that works for them. So you have to figure out what works for you. And the nice thing about this is once you do it for a little while, like you don't even have to think about it. The first couple of days, now I've heard of people that when they first start, sometimes they can, if they do this and incorporate a healthier diet with like less processed foods, some people can feel kind of sluggish while their body is purging from that stuff, right? Because we know the overly processed foods are not good for us. We know they're full of a lot of crap. Something else too that I'm going to throw out there too is drink extra water. Because although I have read it's not scientifically proven, it's not proven in any way, I feel when I am, eating healthier and I am doing the fasting, drinking the water, I feel like it flushes the crap out of my system a lot faster. Now, people say that that's not necessarily true, but I feel like that is true for me because that's what it feels like. So you just have to figure out what works for you and your body. Now, there's a lot of success stories, like I said, on social media on how IF has changed people's health, changed their life. There's a lot of reputable information out there, and there's a lot of crap, just like with anything else. So you have to pick and choose what resonates with you. Now, in my own experience, something that I have experienced, it's taken away my indigestion, my heartburn. And that's huge for me. One thing that I do, and I do this often, is like I will eat something and really notice how my body reacts to it. I will change things around at different times, see how my body reacts to it. And one thing I found out was that if I eat after a certain time of the day, that was contributing greatly to my heartburn and indigestion. Once I stopped eating earlier, I don't have that problem. So you have to figure out what works for your body, but you have to pay attention to your body in order to figure all that out, right? Because you have to do what works for you. But if you have to be in tune with your body, you have to listen to your intuition, and you have to follow it. Don't just listen to it, but let it guide you. Let it guide you. Because it's going to lead you to things that are better for you. And a lot of times, I know food is expensive. The cost of food nowadays is outrageous. And not everybody can buy like organic vegetables and fruits, or, they can't afford to get this or that they might want. Just buy the best that you can. Do the best that you can with what you have to work with. And then, when things change in the future, you can add more, incorporate more things. And if you feel with your body like something is lacking, look into some supplements possibly, or some vitamins, because depending on what you eat, we don't always get enough of that in our diet, right? A lot of the foods nowadays too are stripped of nutrients. I think it's like you see this on a lot of the processed foods. It'll say fortified with blah, blah, blah. They add these vitamins in because the process of making these foods takes all the vitamins out of it. Notice, if you eat something and you feel really bloated afterwards, notice how your body reacts to different things. After you eat or drink a certain thing, do you feel like you need to go lay down? Or do you have some energy? Do you feel really heavy and full and bloated? Or do you feel pretty light and energetic? Food will tell you. Your body will tell you as you're incorporating different things. And don't be afraid to try new things. Don't be afraid to try new foods. You just might, pick up on something that you really, really love. Have a great night at work, Richard. I got your name wrote down here, so come back later and I will leave you a message. And with the IF, you can change it up. If you have a special event or something, you can change your fasting times for the day. You don't have to stick to the same exact time every day. That's up to you and what works with your lifestyle. It's not intended to be something that's difficult or that's going to hinder you in any way. It's to assist you and improve your health, your body, and your relationship with food. So, try it out, give it a chance, see if it works for you. And remember, all healing takes place on the inside first, right? Then it is reflected on the outside. So remember that. Be patient. You may feel like healing isn't taking place because you can't see it, but know that it is. And soon you will be able to see it. It was several years ago, my youngest son, Josh, he told me about intermittent fasting. And I never heard of it. I'm like, what is this? And he was explaining it to me. And then I looked it up and I'm like, wow, this is pretty interesting. And, I stopped doing it for a while, just for a bunch of different reasons, which I'm not even going to go into. But when I first started doing it, I thought it was amazing. I found that I wanted to eat less. I found that I ate things that had a lot more nutrients in them. And it really made me notice when I ate and why. Was I really eating something because I was really hungry? Or was I just eating because I was bored? Was I just eating because, oh yeah, that sounds good? Or was I really listening to my body? And I think this might be the time that I really started listening to my body and letting it tell me what it wanted. So when you tap into that intuition, it will tell you, it will guide you. And a lot of times, you know when you're thirsty, right? You know when you need to drink some water. You know when you're tired and you need to get some rest because your body gives you indicators, right? Maybe you start yawning, or maybe you just, your body's starting to get a little achy, or you're slumping over and you're like, well, I'm kind of tired. I think I need to go to bed. And maybe you're not drinking enough water. Your body's going to tell you. You're going to get that headache. You're going to get that dry mouth. And then well, I'm overdue for some water now because I didn't pay attention. So listen to your body. Listen to your body. It's just so important. And if you try this with your schedule, maybe you'll have to change it around a little bit to see what works for you. I've never been one to eat breakfast like right when I get up in the morning. So eating later in the day was fine for me. I don't like eating dinner late, so I kind of squished it together to like in the middle of the day is when I eat. And it works great for me. Occasionally, I'll change it around. Just depending on what's going on. And I try to eat healthier. And it's not always easy to do, I know. We're all human, we're all in a hurry, but just do the best that you can because your body will appreciate it. It will definitely appreciate it. You will feel the difference in your body the more nutrient-dense food that you eat, right? The more supplements, if you need them. I noticed a huge difference. I was using the collagen gummies from Mary Ruth's Organics. Fantastic product, fantastic company. And I noticed a big difference in a lot of different areas. I noticed a difference with my hair, with my nails. My nails were a lot stronger, even though they normally are. My skin felt better. But it also helped my knee discomfort. That was one thing that I really, really noticed. And I was reading somewhere that, this is a collagen booster, not like a collagen supplement where it just replaces the collagen. This is a collagen booster. And I believe what it does is it helps your body to make more collagen, because as we get older, we make less. So those work really, really well. And it's really cool to notice the difference. If I run out and maybe I forget to order them, or they're going to be later than expected, I might be going up or down the stairs and I'll notice, man, my knee is really kind of painful today. And I'm like, oh, okay. It'll dawn on me a while later. I ran out of those. And then when I start taking them again, I don't notice the discomfort with my knees. Like, I really don't pay much attention to it unless, it just catches me when I'm going up or down the stairs once in a while. That's usually the only time it really bothers me. Hello, Sarah. Nice to see you. But there's a lot of different things that we can do. We can, take a lot of different things to help boost our immune system. Keep ourselves well protected. And also don't forget about the Celtic sea salt. That helps to keep us hydrated because it carries the water into our cells. And yes, I've noticed a huge difference with that as well. So I like to share what I learn. But everyone has to figure out what works for them. What works for one person doesn't necessarily work for the other person. And life is like that all the way around, because we're all on individual paths. And we each have to find our own way on our own path. Nobody can do it for us. Nobody. We can have assistance along the way, but nobody else can walk that path for us. That's our job. And it's our job to figure it out. Not to just say, well, whenever comes along, I'm just going to kind of, let it decide. We have to figure things out. We have to decide which direction we want to go and where are we being pulled. Where are we being pulled to? We all have that wonderful inner strength, inner power. Tap into it. Tap into it and let it help guide you. We all have our spiritual team of angels and guides and our higher selves and our ancestors, and they're all there rooting us on. Just like if we were in a marathon, we got our own little section over there of people who are just rooting for us. Come on, go. You can make it to that finish line, go. And then when we accomplish something that we set out to do, they are overjoyed. Probably even more than we are when we accomplish whatever it is that we were trying to accomplish. So don't be afraid to lean on them for some help. Help them, or let them help guide you. Joyce says, I was looking up collagen the other night for daily dosage and found out it was actually vitamin B7. I haven't heard that before. But know that we all have our team with us. If you hear something, and so let's say, you're watching one of our shows this week and somebody says something, like maybe it's about the intermittent fasting. Maybe like a week from now, you're going to be like, that sounds, for some reason that's kind of been on my mind, or something pops up on social media about it. Or you might overhear someone talking about it. Take those as signs. Just like years ago, too many years ago to mention, that when I heard that word Reiki, didn't know what it was, didn't know anything about it, but I knew that it was something I was going to be associated with at some point. I just knew. So listen to that inner feeling. Listen to that gut. Because, it's not going to steer you wrong ever. And listen to that inner guidance. So important. Okay. I am going to give some messages. If anyone would like a message. And, there's just so many different types of healing that we can do. Because, we talk about this all the time about healing ourselves on every level. It's not just going to be our spiritual healing. It's not just going to be our physical healing. It's going to be healing on all levels. That's something that's very important. But take, for example, meditation. Meditation heals us on all levels, right? Because it helps with our emotional mind. It helps with our mental health. It helps with our physical body because it helps us to relax, be calmer, and of course, it helps us spiritually. So, a lot of those, just like Reiki heals you on every level. But find what really, truly resonates with you and run with it. Run with it. And I also want to mention again, starting September 1st, we will no longer be live streaming our shows on YouTube. So if you watch them on there, look to one of our other platforms, such as X, Rumble, or BitChute. So when September 1st comes, you guys can't say, oh no, you didn't tell me, because I'm going to tell you every single week until then. That way, we make sure everyone has gotten the message. Okay. Robert. Robert would like a message. Let's see what we have for Robert. Now, also, I would like to add, and I know we mention this all the time, but it's important. This crazy energy, right? Up and down, up and down. The Schumann resonance was at 95. I don't know, it was a couple days ago maybe. The days kind of blur together a lot. So it was sometime this week. And it went from 95. And the next time I looked at it, it was at 11. So, we're still having those highs and lows. And I know that July and August are going to be extremely energetic. We're going to be feeling the energy all summer. So keep that in mind. And I will tell you that with these waves of energy, drinking more water helps. Meditating helps. All those things that we work on to, make our bodies better, to show ourselves self-love and self-care. All of those things work to help our bodies when we have these huge influxes of energy. Okay, let's see. Which cards are we going to use? I think this one. Robert. This card is number 5. And it says body and soul. Oh, look at the flashing light. Okay, so this is kind of weird because this happened to me before. It's been a while. When I hold the card up, I can see it flashing on my screen, where it's recording me. When I look behind me and in my room, it's not flashing. It's only flashing on the screen, which is really kind of wild. Okay, so it says body and soul. And it's got a beautiful dragonfly and some flowers and some stars. And I feel like you need to incorporate all the different aspects of you more. And like what I mean by that, like your physical self, your emotional self, your mental self, your spiritual self. You need to realize that all of these are facets of you. Okay. I mean, you could take the soul part of the card and have that, that's your spiritual side. And you need to incorporate them together more. Notice how they're interconnected. Notice how when you heal part of this, it also heals part of that. Realize the connection. Realize the connection. I feel like that's really important for you to realize how you're connected and how you know that you are connected to the oneness of all, and really tap into that and feel that connection, feel that unconditional love. And now if you can't do that, like when you're sitting there or maybe visualizing, do it through meditation. Do it through meditation. Just sit in that quiet. And you don't have to have words. You don't even have to have music. You could just sit in the quiet, whether it's inside, outside. Just sit on a park bench, out in nature, and just sit there and just let everything kind of float out of your mind. Don't think about things, just be. That's one thing that we don't do enough. We're always worried about do this, do this, do this, do this. We need to just be still and be. We need to just be. So I hope that resonates with you, Richard. I'm sorry, Robert. Robert, that was you, Robert. Okay, now Richard. Let's see. Richard, I know I've gotten this card for you before. It's number 25, and it says birds of a feather. I feel like your spiritual circle is growing. You're going to be finding more like-minded people to talk to experience life with. And that's always wonderful, isn't it? It's always great when we find our tribe, right? People who we can instantly connect with, people who share a lot of the same spiritual beliefs as us. And it's interesting too when, we share a few different things than they do, because then when we get together and we talk about that, we learn even more. So I feel like some new people are coming into your life that are on the same frequency as you. And I feel like it's going to really be a benefit to you. It's going to just enlarge. It's going to enlarge your spiritual circle. So that's really good for you, Richard. Let's get a card from Melissa. Very interesting points about interconnection. Thanks, Ruth. You're welcome, Robert. Melissa, your card is number 4, and it says great and full. And it says, that doesn't say. The feeling I get from this, you see this beautiful chalice here? And I feel like it's just overflowing with abundance for you. A great and full. And I do feel like that is you in a nutshell in your life, that your life is very full. You fill it with a lot of love. You fill it with a variety of different things that I feel like your cup is beginning to just overflow. Now, whether this is with new clients, whether this is just financially, but I feel like it's going to be overflowing. And I feel like you have so much gratitude for everything that is coming to you and everything that comes your way. And we all know that's good, right? We all know we need to stay in that place of gratitude. Because when we do, we send out that energy of gratitude and it brings more things to us to be grateful for. It's like this wonderful circle, right? So that's awesome. That's so exciting, Melissa. So look for some more abundance coming your way. Joyce. Now we have Joyce. What do we have for Joyce? What, baby? Shh. Okay, Joyce, your card is number 10. And it's got this beautiful butterfly inside of a cage. And it says close encounters. So let me ask you guys, do you see the flashing when I hold the cards up? Or is that just, am I only seeing that? Because it's really crazy. And I feel like, just like here, I feel like you have something locked up and you're getting ready to let it out or release it to the world. Maybe it's some new ideas. Maybe it's a new way of thinking. Maybe it's just a new thought pattern. Whatever it is, okay, thank you, Joyce. Whatever it is, I feel like it's just like you're letting the butterfly out of the cage. So however you've kept yourself caged up, I don't think this is in a physical sense. You're getting ready to release something. So release it with love, release it without fear, and become that beautiful, free butterfly that you are. Look at this. It's so pretty. We can see it. But yes, so I feel like you're going to be stepping beyond your comfort zone because that butterfly is right there in that cage where it's comfortable and feels like it's safe. And you're going to be stepping out of your comfort zone. So know that that's exactly what you're supposed to do. And once you take that first step, you're just going to take flight. So that's pretty exciting, Joyce. Lenka. What do we have for Lenka? My webcam's in a different dimension. That's pretty funny, Tiffany. Shh. I'm about to put my dog in a different dimension. So I have to tell you, every week she does this and she'll start her little, I don't know what she's trying to do. She's talking, if she's whining, if she's just trying to get my attention. But as soon as my camera goes off, dead silence. Every single week. I don't know if she just doesn't like that she's not getting attention or what. And now I think I embarrassed her because she turned her head and won't look at me. Okay, Lenka, number 43 for you. And it says Spirit of Gratitude. Again, about gratitude. Look at that beautiful, beautiful card. And, like we were just saying, when you put out that energy of gratitude, the universe matches it and sends you more to be grateful for. And I feel like you know this, and I feel like that you're very grateful for everything that comes your way. Gratitude immediately puts us in the moment. And that's where we need to be. That's where we need to be living. We don't want to be living in the past. We don't want to be living in the future. We want to be living in the moment right now, because really that's all we have. But when you focus on gratitude, it pulls you right into the moment because you are focusing on what you are grateful for right now. So keep doing that and keep living in the moment, because that is the best place for you to be, Linka. That's the best place for any of us to be. We don't want to live in the past. We don't want to relive things that happened to us. I saw this really great meme the other day, and it talked about how something about if you saw a really bad movie, would you watch it 100 times? Of course you wouldn't. So why relive a bad memory in your mind over and over and over? And it makes perfect sense. We don't want to do that. We want to get rid of that stuff. We want to heal it and release that stuff. So, but then when we try and live in the future, that causes us a lot of anxiety about what if, right? So living and staying in the moment and focusing on gratitude, focusing on gratitude. We all have something to be grateful for every minute of every day. We just don't always think about it. And we need to. We need to. All right. Hello, Carol Ann. Yes, please. Please hit the like button while you are waiting for a message. Sarah. We are up to Sarah now. What do we have for Sarah? Ooh, Sarah, you got number 30. I think that's like your age, isn't it? That's what your energy feels like. So, and it says shining through. Shining through. Look how beautiful. And I feel like that's you. And it kind of reminds me right there of like the fireworks from the 4th of July, which people need to realize the 4th of July is over and they can cut that out. I will say that they weren't that bad this year in my experience, which was really great. But shining through, I feel like whatever you do, whatever you are doing, whatever you are working on, whether it's healing, or living your day-to-day life and just trying to figure things out, I feel almost like you feel like you are like a seed under the ground, right? And you're just working so hard trying to push yourself up through that dirt, and you want that, you want to grow so that you can bloom. And I feel like that's you. I feel like that's how you're feeling in your life right now. And you are just going to explode, just like in the picture. Just like in the picture. Things are just going to explode for you. And things are going to work out better than, your wildest belief or dreams. Things are going to be so much better than you think than what you can imagine. So keep doing that. Keep working on that stuff. Keep pushing yourself up through that dirt, because once you reach the top, once you reach the surface with all the nutrients that you are feeding yourself, all the good stuff you are feeding yourself, you're just going to grow and bloom like you have never seen before. So I hope that resonates with you, Sarah. Carol Ann. What do we have for Carol Ann? I hear you, Sarah. Sarah says, haha, I wish I was 30. Yeah, could you imagine knowing what we know now? All that, that long ago. Wow. But you figure we have to live the life that we've lived in order to have had the experiences and the knowledge that we have now. So that's why you can never knock yourself for what you didn't know before, when you were younger. That's that time when we go through things and we learn about who we are and we learn about the world. Okay, Carol Ann. Let's see what we have for Carol Ann. Carolyn, your number is 38, and it says endless possibilities. Endless possibilities. I love that picture. And, that's what life is. Endless possibilities. Nothing is impossible. Nothing. So don't ever limit yourself, Carol Ann. Don't think, well, I can't do that. I'm this or I'm that. I just can't do that, because you can do anything. You can do everything. So never limit yourself. Know that there are endless possibilities. Keep unpacking those gifts that you brought with you. Keep unpacking them, because you might be really surprised to find that there's still something new to discover about yourself. Maybe a new interest, maybe a new hobby, maybe something that you've never tried before, but you always thought, I'd really like to give that a try. There's a reason why you've always had that feeling, I would always like to give that a try, because that's you're being nudged. So always make sure you follow that and know that everything is possible for all of us. Okay, Tiffany. Let's see what we have for Tiffany. Tiffany, you got the same card as Carol Ann, number 38, and endless possibilities. From watching that, you would almost think that our power was shaken like that. It's just so, kind of blows my mind. But this, that there are endless possibilities. And I feel like there's a lot more stuff coming out of you, in the future. Like you're always, how can I put it? Like you're always discovering new things. You're always trying to find a way to make something better. And you're always growing. And that's exciting. That's the exciting part, is the journey. It's not about that destination where we get to, but it's the journey along the way that makes everything so sweet. Hello, Devin. Nice to see you. And I know you know this. And it's nice to know, isn't it, that the possibilities are endless, because as human beings, our human mind tells us, we can't do that. No, I'm not even gonna. No, that's too hard. Or, I'm not tall enough to do that. Or, I'm too old to do that. Whatever. But the possibilities are endless. Okay, Devin. So what we have for you. Well, that card flipped over for you, Devin. And this is the same card that Lenka got. Number 43, Spirit of Gratitude. Being grateful for everything. No matter how big, no matter how small. Right? Oh, awesome. Devin is sending some positive vibes. Well, thank you. So it's all about living in gratitude, being grateful for everything. Gratitude brings you to the moment now, right now. Don't live in the past, don't live in the future. Living in the moment. And, time has been really weird lately. And when it gets like that, like the day will be going by like super, super slow, or it'll be going by like in the blink of an eye. And I always think to myself, because somebody might say, oh, what time is it? And I'm like, my first thought in my head is, there's no such thing as time. There's only now. And I think it really helps you to put things more in perspective when you can kind of feel it that way. I didn't used to do that, but I've noticed since this whole time thing has been screwy, that I think that a lot more. Well, there's not really no such thing as time. We created clocks, but The only moment we have, the only time that there is right now. And I think if you think about how kids are, little kids, Judy's 3, she has no concept of time. She'll get up in the morning and say, "Can I have dinner?" Well, we have breakfast in the morning, honey. But like, she has no concept of what time it is during the day. She has no concept if you tell her, her birthday's in 6 months or whatever. She doesn't know when that is. And I think it used to, sometimes it would, with my other grandkids, until I got used to that, it would drive me crazy because I'm like, oh, how do you explain this to them so that they can understand? But I think it's really an awesome way for them to live because all they know is right now. And that's what we need to be doing. We need to be living in the right now, right at this moment. It doesn't matter what happened yesterday. Tomorrow isn't here, so we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We only have right now, this moment. And how many times, and I've done this so many times and regretted it. Then I started realizing what I was doing, putting things off, because you think, well, okay, so this weekend I've got nothing going on, so I'm going to work on this, 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 and this. And then the weekend comes, and all of a sudden, I'm going here for this event. Then I have this, and then something on Sunday, and then I'll have half a day on Sunday to try and rest or recoup for the week. That'll happen. That's happened to me a lot of times. So now what I've tried to do, which I don't always, but I try really hard, when I work, like if it's something that I want to work on, instead of saying, I'm going to do it tomorrow or I'll do it next weekend, I try to do it then. Just like say with laundry, you need to do laundry. You're like, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes, I'll do it tomorrow. And then you get up that morning, you're finally ready to do it. What happens? The power's out. That has actually happened to me. And I'm like, okay, why didn't I just listen? The first time I needed to just do it. So I'm a lot better about that stuff than I used to be. Just remembering to, don't put things off because we don't even know we're going to be here tomorrow. Never live beyond the moment. Exactly, Devin. Exactly. Living in the moment is, I feel like the greatest way you can live your life. Yes, we can plan for things like vacations or retirement or have goals and things that we want to do, but that's not the same thing as, living in the future. It really isn't. Because there's a lot of things like that things that have to be planned for, right? Like a trip. Most people don't make a spur of the moment trip. Some people do, but most people don't. So, it's fine to do stuff like that, but just make sure that you are living in the here and now. That's what's important. And that's one thing I noticed when my mom and dad were both like getting to the end, their end stage of their lives here on earth. That is one thing that changed. They were living in the moment, and every moment meant everything to them. They weren't worried about tomorrow. They weren't worried about going grocery shopping or making sure this bill was paid. All they cared about was the moment and being with the people that they loved. What a great way to live your life, right? We don't have to wait until, the end of our life to think about those things. We can do those things now. Make our life so much better now. Spend time with the people we love now. I'm not saying that they didn't, all the time, but I'm just saying that I saw that change in them where that was what they focused on and that was the most important thing to them. Hello, Pooja. How about a really quick card for you? I have 1 minute left. Let me pull you a card. Oh, Number 8. Into me I see. Now, I feel like I may have gotten this card for you before. I'm not positive, but it says, into me I see. And I feel like this is you taking a trip inside. Take a look inside. Uncover. I feel like there's a whole lot of things for you to uncover within yourself. Because all the answers that you're looking for, they're already in you. You just have to find them. You can do that sometimes through meditation. You can do it through healing, but it's important to do that. Take a look inside yourself. Where do you want to be in 5 years? Don't live in that place, but start planning. Put out those intentions, right? Into me, I see. I think that's just so beautiful. So just think about that. I want to thank you all so much for being here this week and tonight and sharing this wonderful hour with me. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you all have a really, really, really awesome week. I love you all. Good night, everybody.